Alex, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wonderful victory out there.
Thank you.
Magda raised her game quite a bit in that second set.
When Alexandra Eala walked onto the court at the Miami Open, she was ranked number 140 in the world. What happened next wasn't just an upset, it was a shockwave. She dismantled the world number 2, Iga Swiatek, in straight sets. The match lasted under 90 minutes, but its impact went far beyond the scoreboard. It forced the WTA, global sponsors, and an entire nation of over 110 million people to confront something no ranking system had predicted. This wasn't luck. This was a breakthrough. Eala won 43 of 77 points directly from serve returns. Swiatek committed 32 unforced errors, a number she almost never reaches against elite competition. But here's the key. Eala isn't a conventional elite player. She's a left-handed, return-first architect, someone who has spent over a decade quietly building a game designed to disrupt rhythm, absorb pace, and strike with precision. And that system didn't happen by accident. Long before the spotlight, before Spain, before the academy system, there was a man known as Lolo Bob, Roberto Mano. Not a professional coach, not a federation expert, just a club player with vision. In the early 2000s, while most of Philippine tennis revolved around clay courts, he made a radical decision: train Eala on hard courts. Why? Because he understood something others didn't. The global game is played on hard courts. Grand slams are won on hard courts. The future of tennis demanded it. So he chose differently. That decision, made before Eala could even read, became the foundation of everything that followed.
It went really great. I was definitely put in some tough positions by Magda, especially in that second, so I'm really happy with how I pulled through.
Obviously, in the fourth round back here in Miami, and you'll get to face Karolina Mukova, I believe, for the first time. Just what are your thoughts on, playing her? She won in Doha a month ago. Just, your initial thoughts on playing her.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I haven't thought about it much. I haven't had time to think about it much, but she's obviously a great player and is doing really well. A couple of years back, I watched one of her finals, and I was really impressed. So to be put in a position to compete against her is a real privilege and going to be a test for sure.
And talking about the match today, I wanted to ask specifically about the second set tiebreak. I know you were up initially in the second set, and she got it back on serve.
At 13 years old, Eala left the Philippines and joined the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain. She earned her place. In 2018, she defeated future top 20 player Linda Noskova in a major junior final, proving she belonged on the international stage. At the academy, she trained under elite coaches, including Johan Busch, who had previously worked with former world number 1 Carlos Moya. The academy offered a complete system: technical development, physical training, and education, all under one roof. But the most important lesson she received there had nothing to do with tennis technique. On November 19, 2025, exactly 1 year after Rafael Nadal retired, Eala trained with him. She later described the session as intense, noting that Nadal's level remained physically demanding even after retirement. But it wasn't his forehand or footwork that stayed with her. It was his advice: surround yourself with good people. For a 20-year-old navigating global attention, pressure, and expectations, that advice carries more weight than any technical adjustment ever could. But Eala's rise didn't start in Miami. At the 2022 US Open Junior Tournament, she dominated the field without dropping a single set. In the final, she defeated Lucy Havlicekova to become the first Filipino player to win a junior Grand Slam singles title. That moment wasn't just a victory. It was a signal, a message that the distance between Manila and the biggest stages in tennis could be closed.
Yeah, it was a tough one, like you said. I think it's only normal that with a loss comes disappointment and being upset. But then again, it's another opportunity for me to take and learn and grow as a player. And yeah.
Great. Questions in English, please. Ben?
Hi, Ben Rothenberg from Bounces. The crowd that you had today, I don't know if you expected that, or when you saw the schedule, if you realized that Court 6 would be not enough for your crowd, but it was like the story of today at the tournament. How many people were there? How many more people wanted to see you who came? and couldn't get seats. What did that feel like for you, just as a player, to see how much support you had and how much excitement you had from so many thousands of people who came to the Australian Open for you today?
Now, let's go back to Miami, because the full story goes deeper than one match. Entering as a wild card, Eala defeated a series of top players: Katie Volenitz, Jelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, and finally, Iga Swiatek, all in straight sets. She became the first wildcard in history to defeat 3 Grand Slam champions in straight sets at a single event. This wasn't a fluke. She didn't overpower opponents. She absorbed their pace, redirected it, and dismantled their rhythm. That's her identity. Eala eventually lost in the semifinals to Jessica Pegula, but by then, the damage was done. Her ranking jumped from 140 to 75. Her earnings nearly doubled, and her impact spread far beyond the court. Back home, her success triggered real change. The Philippine Tennis Association, previously suspended, was reinstated. New tournaments were organized, including a WTA 125 event in Manila. For the first time, Eala had a home tournament. Globally, her popularity surged. At the 2026 Australian Open, fans lined up hours in advance just to watch her. Crowds overflowed. Even Novak Djokovic publicly stated she deserved a main show court. But behind the rise, there's a deeper question, a technical one. In 2026, Eala wins only 46% of points on her second serve. When her first serve misses, she becomes vulnerable. Her second serve averages around 75 miles per hour, attackable at the highest level.
Oh my God.
Alex, I think everyone here is waiting to hear from you. You looked incredibly locked in throughout that match. You let the racket do the talking, and you managed your emotions so well. Just tell us your first thoughts after that win.
Oh, all the emotions are coming because the tension was so high, especially during that second set. So I'm really happy to have gotten through. She's a great opponent, obviously being top 10 and a former champion here. So to be able to...
Tennis legend Martina Navratilova has already said she needs to add power to it. But here's the paradox. Eala wins nearly 60% of points when returning her opponent's second serve. Her biggest weakness is also the exact situation she dominates. That's not coincidence. That's design. Her game has been built from the outside in, starting with returns, timing, and control, rather than power. And that's why fixing her serve isn't simple, because changing it could disrupt the very system that makes her dangerous. As she prepares for her next challenge against Karolina Muchova, Eala stands at a critical point in her career. She's now ranked inside the top 30. She's entering Grand Slams as a seeded player, and her team has already identified 2027 as her peak competitive window. But one question remains. Can she evolve her game without losing what makes her unique? Because this story didn't begin in Miami. It began decades ago. In Bangkok, 40 years earlier, her mother won a bronze medal at the Southeast Asian Games. In 2025, in that same city, Eala won gold, ending a 26-year drought for the Philippines. 2 generations, same city, bronze turned into gold. This isn't just a tennis story. It's a system, a vision, a blueprint built over decades. And now, the final piece is still missing. Will she fix the serve, or find a way to win without it? Because whatever happens next, Alexandra Eala is no longer just rising. She's redefining the future of tennis.